Okay, so the, what's this called again?
I'm
Peter
recording now.
Pan's Neverland Nightmare. That was the name of this.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I went and saw Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare on Tuesday. So, first of all, I just need to talk about Peter Pan just for a hot minute. Because the guy who plays him, at first, is kind of doing a bad Pennywise impression, but it
What?
very quickly falls into him trying to act like the Heath Ledger Joker.
They're both clowns, I guess, is the overlap.
Yeah, yeah, but how that relates to Peter Pan, I don't know. So you have Peter Pan walking around with like this face paint on, like some
What?
clownish makeup, doing a Heath Ledger impression. He does heroin, and he has like tape around his needles that he has the heroin in that he calls pixie dust.
Wait. He's based on Heath Ledger's Joker, and he does heroin. Are you sure he's not based on Kurt Cobain?
I'm pretty sure it's Heath Ledger's Joker because he even does the licking his lips thing.
Oh god.
It's really bad. At the beginning of the movie, he kidnaps a child from a circus.
Okay.
And I spent the whole hour and a half going, so what was up with that intro? Because this movie was so boring and unengaging that I had to think about the first 2 minutes of the movie to just find anything to keep my mind occupied with. And at the very end of the movie, the main character, who's supposed to be Wendy, goes down into Peter Pan's basement, where she finds the kid. Now, I think he's like 15 years older.
You can't just drop that on me that Peter Pan has a basement. I mean,
he lives in like some shack in the middle of the woods that has a dungeon underneath it.
okay.
Where so like his whole thing is he kidnaps kids.
Yeah.
And he kidnaps kids and he strangles them to send them to Neverland.
Yeah. Which is what, yeah.
There's
that's
a scene.
Peter Pan, yeah.
Yeah. There's a scene where he steals a school bus full of children.
What?
And then there's just a shot of the woods where there's like 20 kids' bodies just like all over the place.
I'll be honest, the way you're
Anyway.
describing it does make it sound like it would be entertaining to watch. But
And that's the worst part about it, is trying to describe this movie actually makes it sound entertaining.
it's kind of like
it's not. It was so bad.
Was it kind of like with Army of Frankenstein's, where like describing
Oh, a
it,
little bit, yeah.
because describing that movie made it sound hilarious, but like actually watching it was rough.
And then
where are the Lost
so he has
Boys
a basement.
then?
What?
The Lost Boys, like where do they fit into this?
Those are the Lost Boys. He kidnaps children and strangles them to send them to Neverland, and then they're
Okay.
called the Lost Boys.
Which I think is how they get there in the original story, if I remember right. But anyway,
Huh.
you see, I always felt like Peter Pan would be a good concept for a horror movie if you could do it right. But apparently they didn't.
And they did not do it. Honestly, like, they should have just done, like, a Hellraiser knockoff. Where they get sent to Neverland and it's some sort of weird hell scenario. Not, it's Heath Ledger's Joker doing heroin and kidnapping kids. That's just weird.
Or the mermaids.
Anyway, back
in
to
it.
Captain Hook.
Are the mermaids in it or not?
No.
No? Okay. What about the Native Americans? I know what the answer to that is.
No, there are no Native Americans.
Damn it. What was the name of that song again? What made the red man red? I want to hear that in this movie.
So Captain Hook, alright?
Oh my god.
So Peter Pan kidnaps a kid at the
Mm.
beginning of the movie while at
Yeah.
a circus.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a time jump where it jumps to 15 years in the future. And so Wendy goes into Peter Pan's basement looking for her brother. And she finds this kid who's grown up now. And for whatever reason, Peter didn't kill this kid. He just kept him chained up in his basement.
What?
And so the kid is also, just for whatever reason, missing a hand. That's never explained or elaborated upon, but he's missing his hand.
Well, he's
And
at a
in its place
circus.
is
I
a...
mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, just like that. That's like the least of this movie's worries from what I can
And
tell.
so instead of a hand, he has a massive meat hook. And so at the very end of the movie, after Peter's been, like, stabbed, cut, I'm pretty sure he
So
gets
wait, what about the
shot at
crocodile?
least once.
Is the crocodile
No,
not in
if
this?
there is, we don't see it.
You don't see. Okay, that's.
Uh,
What was the budget for this thing?
it was like £310,000, which I think is about $400,000.
Okay, that's not. Yeah, probably not enough to afford a crocodile. Then in that case, wow.
Anyway, so this kid who has this meat hook in his arm, he's called Captain Hook in the credits, I'm pretty sure. He just shows up at the very end of the movie. Somehow he escaped the dungeon, puts the hook through Peter Pan, and drags him down into the dungeon.
What?
And then that's it.
That's so dumb. Okay, so this is a whole cinematic universe that they have.
Yes.
Called the Twisted Childhood Universe, or the Pooh-niverse. Which is not a bad title, actually. They have 3 more movies coming out in 2025.
3 more this year?
Yes. There's Bambi.
Okay, I
knew
knew they were doing the Bambi movie because they played a trailer for it. When I was at Peter Pan.
Yeah, they got Bambi the Reckoning, Pinocchio Unstrung, Pooh-niverse, Monsters Assemble. Those are all coming out in 2025, apparently, and they have more. I mean, this is all public domain stuff, so it's not like they're gonna lose out on much money making these stupid things.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe we should just do the same thing. I mean, we should just find some public domains. We could make like a horror movie version of The Sound and the Fury, since that's in public domain. Or The Great Gatsby. We could do like a horror version of The Great Gatsby.
Horror Great Gatsby?
Is that like the version where like Gatsby's ghost like haunts them from the grave or something? That'd be more like Wuthering Heights in that case.
You make it like a 3-hour-long movie. You have the scene where I forget the character's name, but when Gatsby's girlfriend runs over the guy in the car,
Daisy,
and then the last 2 hours of the movie is spent like with the guilt of that, and he starts getting haunted.
Oh, so like Myrtle's ghost is like haunting them, or
yeah,
or maybe because Gatsby also did. So is Gatsby gets shot by Wilson, and then Wilson kills himself. So maybe all these ghosts just go and like haunt the Buchanans or something. Or maybe it's like there was a segment in Creep Show where like these like zombies or something like come back and like attack the people. Maybe it's like that or something, but it's the Great Gatsby.
We need to do classic novel horror extended universe.
Yeah, okay, so we have
classic public domain novels.
Okay, so Great Gatsby's in public domain, and I mentioned Sound and the Fury is in public domain. Basically, anything before
Treasure Island.
Oh God, how do you do that as horror though? It's like Ben Gunn is like a. Just make Ben Gunn into like a psychopath, I guess. Tries getting his revenge on everyone for leaving him.
We could do the Picture of Dorian Gray. That one's an easy translation.
That one already is like horror, though.
Exactly.
I mean, you know. Pretty sure that one's public domain.
There's a lot of these that are already just horror movies.
Dracula's public domain. Frankenstein.
Oh, we could do our own Island of Dr. Moreau adaptation.
Yeah, there have already been a bunch of those, though. And some of them already were horror movies. I'm trying to... Why am I blanking on this? I don't know, like Count of Monte Cristo, but as a horror movie or something.
How do you make that a horror? Oh, that's easy. He's just a slasher.
He's just a slasher. Like, exactly. Oh.
He breaks out of prison and becomes basically just Jason Voorhees.
Yeah. Maybe he wears like even though it's not the same book, maybe he wears like the Iron Mask from like Man in the Iron Mask. That would be pretty funny, actually, if they did that.
I could do a Huckleberry Finn.
Oh yeah, I was about to say
Horror
Tom
novel.
Sawyer, but yeah, Huckleberry Finn, make that into a horror movie. That's actually one I haven't read yet. I was meant to, but I never.
I haven't read Tom Sawyer. I did listen to an audiobook of it on the way down to Florida a few years ago.
Close enough. Moby Dick. How do you make that into a horror movie?
It's a flying whale. You just gotta make the whale even bigger and scarier.
And there we go. Romeo and Juliet. Or just any shit, like any Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
Macbeth would be pretty easy to make into a horror movie.
Yeah.
Hamlet. Yeah, actually Hamlet probably would, because there's ghosts in that.
Around the world in 80 days. The reason why they're going around the world is to try and escape a serial killer.
What? Oh boy.
Remember, we have to make these as cheap and bad as possible.
That is true. Wait, so when they're going around the world, do we just put them like in front of like a green screen and just poorly green screen in like backgrounds like from around the world or something?
Like they walk from China to the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's where the two different stages are that we'll have.
Jesus. I guess there already is Pride and Prejudice as a horror movie, because there's Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
You could do a Robinson Crusoe.
Robinson Crusoe, wait. Ow, wait. I don't even know what that was.
It could be an island of cannibals.
That's already the. I think
well, then you really lean into it.
I think that's already what happens. There's like cannibals, but yeah, just really lean into it. Yeah. Alice in Wonderland would probably be pretty easy to do. It's a horror movie. How about the Scarlet Letter? How do you make that into a horror movie?
Ooh.
Does she like get revenge on everyone after they shunned her or something? She like kills them and she like leaves behind a red letter like on them or something.
That represents their sin.
I feel like I might have said that before, actually. That sounds like something I don't know.
I was gonna say maybe she just starts collecting more and more letters, like it's the first initial of everyone she kills.
Maybe.
She starts wearing their letter.
Oh, jeez. The Metamorphosis would be easy to make in a horror.
Yeah, because then you just make it an actual monster that starts killing
that was
people.
like, I had the idea of like the Sharkamorphosis, so it's like he turns into a shark instead. There's a book called The Devil is an Ass, apparently. Never heard of that. Christmas Carol would be pretty easy. I mean, it has ghosts in it.
Yeah. You could just make it so that he doesn't change his ways, or maybe the ghost of Christmas Future just kidnaps him and forces him to be the new ghost of Christmas Future.
because you haven't changed your ways. Now you're the new ghost of Christmas Future. And then the ghost of Christmas Future takes Scrooge's place. So they like switch places, so then the ghost of Christmas Future lives out the rest of Scrooge's life. Because that's like his punishment for not converting him.
That would be funny.
These are great ideas.
Oh, we need to get to work on our classic novel,
How long
Dark Universe.
We've been talking for like 15 minutes on here. Oh my god. Because we have to talk about,
Yeah. Do we want to get started on that?
Yeah, we should probably get started on that. Okay. Or should we talk more about, I don't know, like, what shit has come out recently? Kraven the Hunter?
Never seeing that one.
I'm just waiting for, like, Sony to stop. I mean...
to learn their lesson.
They didn't learn their lesson after Madam Web or Morbius, but... With Morbius, they didn't learn their lesson.
Have any more in the pipeline?
With Morbius, they didn't learn their lesson because they made the greatest movie ever made, so at that point, they should just give up. They're not going to be able to top it. And then they made Madam Web, which is like, what is that? Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, we should probably start with this one. And you can introduce us as Bykov, Bongo Bykov.
Oh, that's right.
Transari. For Transari.